We're going to talk on premium lenses, my personal experiences, and my personal advice, essentially. When we ask what we talk of a premium IOL, a standard IOL is one which is monofocal. A premium IOL gives you the ability to read near, reducing and eliminating the need for corrective lenses completely. With a premium IOL, you can get accommodative multifocal lenses, and it gives you the ability to read both for far and near with no restriction. There was the original advent of the resume lens, and then the Technis and the Physiol multifocal came into place, and the Alcon Restore came. But finally, the Zeiss multifocal, which in my personal experience is simply put the finest lens I've used. Let us take some key issues. The big question is, how do we go about augmenting accuracy with premium IOLs to improve the patient outcome? Refractive surprises lead to unhappy patients. It's a highly disappointing feeling to face a refractive surprise. There are standard criteria which we utilize when we put in a multifocal or a need-off lens. A corneal aberration more than zero point 0.4 we try and avoid. Angle alpha more than zero point 0.4 we avoid. We need to have a regular cornea. We need to have a normal macular OCT and no evidence of other ocular pathologies which can affect the eye. My personal choice, of course, is the Zeiss trifocal lens, and the patient selection for criteria. The most important is obligatory to have a discussion with the patient. An ideal patient is the one who understands the limitations of the premium IOL and his realistic expectations. If he thinks he is going to be absolutely perfect, have no problems at all, he is not a candidate for a multifocal IOL. Howard Fine, who is one of the very well-known names in ophthalmology, he is now retired, had a very simple concept. If the patient asks you more than 5 questions, he is not fit for a multifocal IOL. A trifocal is absolutely essential, especially for the people who work in the stock market and even in the cockpit of an aeroplane, where if you see on top, on the upper side, you see the whole lot of instruments which are there. And of course, in the cockpit of the new Dreamliner, where more than 70% of all the equipment on the installation lies in the upper part. If you are wearing a bifocal, there's no way you can see on top. So if you find your pilot is wearing bifocals and sitting outside, beware because he can't see most of the equipment which he is supposed to handle. In the operating room, it has an advantage, and of course, has an advantage when you're browsing books in the library. The advent of the EDOF lens is something which came off the extended depth of focus lens, the new kid on the block, and patients preferred this because their younger patients thought they would see a better range of vision, better quality, a better contrast sensitivity, less glare and halos. And this was the AT Lara which came out with using what they call as the light bridge phenomenon, which essentially gave you at 140 and at 70 centimeters. This is essentially also a trifocal lens, but it is planed down a little. And gives you the thing, it gives you a better higher order aberration. Spherical aberration is reduced. But despite all that is written about the EDOF lens and the hype in the market, I was never really satisfied with the EDOF lenses. It's supposed to give a degree of spectacle independence and induce less side effects and to have less visual phenomenon. But what would you prefer, a full cake or a sliced up cake? Obvious is, and the answer is obvious. You'd prefer the full cake. It is neither here nor there. Patients, after fitting, despite whatever you tell them, then come home and complain that they are unable to read. When we talk of near definition of vision, we normally turn on, tell the patient, hold a little further, you'll be able to read. But at the present moment, the definition of near vision is the ability to read as mobile comfortably. And after all the explanations, a lot of the patients feel that they have been shortchanged and they feel unhappy about it. The net result of a EDOF lens very often is leads to litigation. We have had to replace EDOF lenses because the patient just came and cribbed and cribbed and cribbed. And the big thing you must remember is once you have a problem like that, you may replace the lens, but that patient is never going to refer another lens to you. Sadly, an EDOF is not a new lens. In the automobile industry, they call it rebadging. Essentially, the same story badged into another model, and it still has glare at night with the EDOF lens. A good trifocal can provide much more to you, and therefore, in my personal opinion, trifocal gives a better idea. And premium, however, there's a problem. A premium IOL can only give you a premium result if the IOL power is dead accurate. You have to be able to utilize a good IOL master. It's already been spoken to you by Dr. Kudlu. I am now going to talk about it. The role of telecentric keratometry spoken to you a little earlier by Dr. Tithial, very well explained, which is also the thing. And of course, the IOL master gives you the advantage that you can get a very comprehensive analysis long before you proceed forwards. So these sort of appliances are mandatory if you are going to use a premium IOL to give you the premium results which you require. And the biggest advantage, however, is total keratometry, something which we went into about now roughly 9 months ago. And it has certainly improved the quality of results which you are getting, because there are certain patients in whom you will notice over here also that this is the total keratometry over here. The change in power automatically from 2.36 to 2.4. And in some cases, radical changes tend to occur. So we do need to look into this. This gives you a better impression. And the big advantage, of course, that you can assess the angle kappa better. The newer formulas will again make a difference. And but the one thing, you have to calculate an implant. But if you cannot place it accurately, then again you are in trouble. And the biggest problem, of course, is astigmatism. The wow factor has to be taken into account. And we are aware that you have to precisely place it. I tend to use the Zeiss system, which gives me the advantage of linking on the biometer with the computer assisted Callisto and the Lumira, and the data transfer utilizing the Forum system, which gives really a great deal of effect. It The heads up display makes a world of difference, and it does make it quite a significant improvement. I'll just quickly show you a short video. That's my Callisto lying in the background. This is my Zeiss. This is how I set up in my own operating theater. And essentially, you just have to put in your lens, and you get these automatically heads up projected on. And as the patient's eye tilts, lens, the lines will tilt simultaneously. So at any time, you will always get a perfect position. Big advantage of it is that with toric lenses, your accuracy runs into less than 5 degrees variation, which is something you can't do with manual. And there's no head tilt problem which is there, because your measurement is taken with the patient in a sitting position and transferred utilizing your systems on. Results. This is roughly a small group of patients which we have had, 4,500 cases. The frequency of cylinders in 1,800 cases. Residual power, as you notice, the accuracy is pretty good. And the change in best corrected visual acuity from the mean, the losses are almost negligible running down the line. Patients are very happy with the trifocal lenses. And when we look at patient symptoms, excepting for a little night driving problem, it literally goes away. And the interesting thing is, night driving problems occur because of a dry cornea. You Patient has to be told that he has to keep the bottle of solution in his car and put a drop when he's driving. Again, the important thing you have to say is, once in a while you're going to have a residual leftover. If you have a residual, please remember to correct it utilizing your excimer laser, because it gives you a much happy thing. The most common problems with these lenses is dry eye and photic phenomenon. So if you are careful that you check your pre-existing comorbidities and you check your dry eyes, one drop of fluorescein in your patient before you take him up for surgery will solve a lot of your problems later on. Pre-surgical information is mandatory. And in conclusion, the IOL technology really makes a great deal of difference, provides marvelous independence, and will certainly make a great deal of difference. However, the patient must understand this little slide. Everyone wants happiness, no one wants pain. But you can't have a rainbow without a little rain. Thank you for your attention.